Soup puppet. And this is the pregnant one. Go, bitty bladder boy. Go, bitty bladder boy.
But I just found my favorite lullaby right there. God, I love it. What was the question?
What was the question?
Most requested.
That one. For me, I get three things. I get Cinderella. People want me to do Cinderella. Bastille from Knights of the Old Republic, and go commercial, the Gateway commercial.
Yes.
I haven't done it in years, but people still ask me to say, call 1-800-GATEWAY. Okay. You're a plumber? Plumb something for me right now. Let's see it.
Okay, obviously Dexter. And then, depending on what cities I'm in, whatever, the flea from Lucha Lucha, whose favorite line is shame over pain, baby. Shame over pain. I'm the anti-Marine. Shame over pain, baby. And I would say lately, today, it's really odd because I found a photo, but I did Astro Boy in the series, and I get a lot of, yo, mister, fire out of my shoes, whatever. So I get that. But a quick interesting story, because somebody mentioned real voice actors with Maurice, with the real, getting an Emmy, real voice actors. There was a film came out of Astro Boy that didn't do so well, and I was sick about it because they wouldn't allow me to audition for a role that I created. But little Freddie Hightower that did do it, he did do one interview on CNN that they pulled really quickly, that they said, where did you come up with the voice? And he said, well, Sony bought me the DVD set of the television show. And I sat there and I thought, you better keep talking. He said, and I listened to that over and over and over again, and I want you all to know I didn't make a dime of him going over and over and over again. And I know we're going to probably move on from this, but I'll just make a plea. I'll make a plea to you all to always listen to the real voice actors. Do It, Jimmy Neutron, which was a movie without famous people that was nominated for an Academy Award. And I will tell you that I would like to think that if Sony had used the woman that came up with the voice for Astro Boy, which would make Sony want to do a movie, just color me Barbara for a moment, if they would do a movie, a multi-million-dollar movie that, I'm sorry, did they not make their money back? Again, I'm sick about it. That you would use the voice that actually came with it. But I will tell you that I Googled that day and that night, and I tried to find that CNN pulled that clip so quick of that kid saying that he listened to the DVD set over and over and over again of the woman who created the voice. And I thought, yeah. So I will just say that today, and it's kind of bittersweet, but I got that I get a lot of, and I just don't tell anybody I didn't do the movie.
Don't you find there's a certain amount of vindication in that, though?
Yes, sir.
Because you're the character, you're the actor that the audience connected with.
Right.
And when you rob the audience of that connection,
Right.
then you're going to end up with a product that doesn't make any money, because they're going to go and go, that's not the Astro Boy I know.
Yeah, and I will say that whenever we are very interchangeable. I don't know if you know that, and we're in a very vulnerable position. We don't have a lot of power. And when you do get sick, you get ill for a long time, or you decide that maybe you'd like to make a decent wage, or something happens, whatever it is, I'm not going to get political. We are very easily replaceable because they own the character, and when we sign these multi-page contracts every week, we kind of are vulnerable in that they can replace us with a sound-alike. Right. So we do sound-alikes for celebrities after they have turned down whatever they don't want to do, whatever video game that we can voice match, but we are not afforded the same courtesy. So
I would add to that, the one piece of power we have is you guys.
Right.
When you guys write in, when you guys say, man, no, bring back the original, this sucks. I get frequent emails going, you didn't do Seamus Aran in Metroid Prime in this second one or third one. I'm like, no one asked me.
Right.
I get a lot of that, but you guys are our power.
Well, I think we also have a little bit of power in that the entire voiceover community can refuse to undercut each other.
Absolutely.
When The Simpsons went to be recast, there was they back in, I believe it was 97,
yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
we all as a community refused to read for their characters because we wanted them to get that raise. We thought, okay, here are some cartoon actors who are actually asking, look, the thing's on in prime time, anybody else, any other primetime show, if you're the second or third banana on the show, you're automatically making, big 5-figure kind of money for showing up, hitting your mark, and, you got maybe 7 jokes in the episode, and then you leave and you're getting what a lot of people are happy to make in a year, for one episode, and then times 26. And all they were asking to do was go, look, we're still putting butts on the couch. It's our voices. Pay us as though we're on real television. And so we as a community said, we're not touching those characters. Right. So nobody decent came forward, and they actually had to give Dan and Harry and Nancy and Hank and Yardley the kind of money that they should get. And so that's what I think as a community we also kind of hang together and say, we will not audition for other characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not even of course it is about the money, but it's also, for me, more than that, it's about being a part of a project. And when they continue to dismiss you and replace you and pay you peanuts when they are literally making hundreds of millions of dollars, it says you don't count, you don't matter, you're not really part of this. And I will bleed for you if you acknowledge that I am part of your project. I will go to the mat for you.
Right.
Hey, I'll go back to, just back to that, the power of you point that Jennifer was making. In addition to all the other points that are being made, is I know that as far as the Transformers live-action films, they've even said in interview it's been the grassroots fan movement that demanded that Peter Cullen remain Optimus, which is, that's one of the real foundation pieces of the live-action franchise now. In the second one, they did the same for Frank Welker. The third, I'm not saying Dinobots will appear, but maybe, and I don't know. I just know you have power, your emails have power, your letters have power, your voices have power, and the fact that you hang with us over decades and know more about us than we know about ourselves is mind-blowingly humbling, but it also has power. So wield it effectively. Tell the concerns at this convention how much you loved having the presence of a voice community as part of this pop culture celebration that we're all sharing. You have every voice matters, every single voice. So I'm just jumping on that.
You guys are who we do it for. When I'm in that booth, and I know all of us, I want to create an experience for you that's real. I will sit there and fuss over something and nitpick, because I want it to be right for you.
Right.
I want you to have an experience where you're like, yeah! And you guys know, the studio people who drank the Kool-Aid when they got the job, I don't know that they know. And they need to hear from you. And that was a great point that Gregg made, which is that the people who put this together, this is the first time they've had voice talent. And let them know that it mattered to you and that you liked it, because people think that because we're just talking, anyone can do it. And it's like, no, there's a heart and a soul in this.
We're actors, first and foremost. There was a girl that came up to me and she said, I just wanted you to know that everybody tells me that I have such an amazing voice that I should be doing voiceover, that absolutely a monkey could be doing it. And I looked at her and I said, first I want to thank you for the fabulous voice that I'm probably going to do at panel. And second of all, can you do me? Because this is going to get really old. And that's what I'm a little afraid that your lack of, as fans, and will do more of. Cartoon Network took a shot in the dark, and it's kind of off in spinning in its own orbit. I'm trying to tell you that if you wrote and said bring back voice actors and cartoons and stuff, they would probably get rid of the one guy who's not picking up any emails. It's one guy, one man, making the decisions and bring him back into this orbit, because the name of the network is Cartoon Network. And so we'd like to have cartoons back. I think it would be great. But I do want you to know that the 5 of us up here are first and foremost actors who do voices. We're not people that are blessed with these little things. We create, as Jennifer said, characters for you, and we work on them. And listen to Rob Paulsen do Carl. That he's got this thing where he does his L's, where whenever I hear anybody, who's the voice,
Tom Brokaw?
Tom Brokaw, when I hear him, I'm like, stop doing Carl, damn it! Stop doing Carl! Because I will always, but this is Maryland L.
Yeah, it's the lazy L.
And he does that, and I think, but that's his genius for creating his character that you all love, because he took time to remember that that's part of who Carl is, and Carl has a lot of songs. One day, are you going to put out an album? Are they going to do that for Sheen?
For Sheen, I don't know. They might. Yeah.
They're thinking on this new show that Rob is on. He sings in every episode, and he makes them up on the fly because he's just that sick. It's brilliant. And I think they should do an album, and I've said that. You know, what's the name of your character?
Oh, Doppy. He's Carl's doppelganger, so they call him Doppy.
I just wanted him to be like in a loincloth. Doppy sings.
Yeah.
And, Doppy around you. I can't even do it.
I'm just a girl who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix.
No, I have to pee.
Terrible.
I'm still waiting. Oh my God, that makes me pee.
Oh no, it's so much fun. No, Candi's right, and you know, quite often people will say to all of us, and I understand the spirit in which the question is asked, because sometimes you'll get people that say, God, you know, the voices you guys do are so cute. Do you guys do any real acting? Do you guys do any? And I thought what they mean if you do any real acting, like, you know, she's the sheriff, you know. Or who's cooking the soup or something. F-troop, yeah. So, but no, the truth is the best voice actors are really fine, solid actors, that you make choices, you commit to them. I mean, you know.
Create a character.
Well, and we have to hold the world in our head.
Yeah.
We don't have the privilege of the set and sometimes even the other actors.
Yeah.
We have to hold that world in our head, honor it, remember where we were, and in the case of games, we have to deal with several different scenarios at once and sort of aspects of our own personality within 5 minutes, get it right, make it true.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, it's acting is acting, and that's the one thing that I would say. When people ask quite often, you know, what do you suggest for those of us that are interested in pursuing this? I would say then you work on your acting chops, and whatever it is that inspires you artistically. As I said, I started out as a singer who was fascinated by dialects, and my hero was Peter Sellers, and you know, I used to love, yeah, and Dr. Strangelove is my favorite movie, and all that, you know, so. But the point is, if you're a singer, sing. If you're a dancer, dance. If you're a mime, sing. But honestly, pursue whatever sort of feeds your soul, especially when you're young. And when you're young enough to not have the encumbrances, how you doing, sir? To have the encumbrances of adulthood, you know, kids and mortgages and all of that stuff, then that's the time when you should make those choices and really swing for the fences and enjoy yourself. That's not to say that you should ever not pursue it as you get older, but sometimes art for art's sake is okay too. I mean, you get to a place where you go, you know, I get to go work at the Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts, and they're doing a production of Guys and Dolls, and I'm going to be in the chorus, and I'm having the best frickin' time of my life. That's just as valid. So just enjoy yourself.
There's one thing, because we're running out of time, there's one thing I want to say, and I want to just offer this up to you guys to walk away with today, and it kind of applies to all of life, especially, you know, the last couple of years. We've seen what's going on in our country and stuff, and the changes, and your voice matters. Your voice as fans, your voice as people, your voice as artists. And there are times when I'm like, I don't write that email, or I don't call that person and complain, or I don't say anything because it's not going to make a difference. You know what? It does. Yep. You know, it's only a drop of water, but you get 50 drops, you get 100 drops, and have the people around you start to realize that their voice matters. So say it, do it, express it, make it happen. You know, whether you care about, you know, what we're doing, you know, bring that person back in that show, or whether you have something you want to do, it matters.
Hey, parting shot from me. If anybody wants to stay in touch, I have some contact cards up here. But come down to our tables. Come say hi. If you can spring for a purchase, spring for a purchase. It's great to have time with all of you.
Yeah, aisle 500, and then in the back there.
Yeah, we're in the back.
You have time for just one more question from this gentleman?
I'm just going to get another group photo.
Oh, as I said earlier, probably Pinky, I would say. Yeah. What's your favorite? Oh, you like Gordon from Coscotch? Well, don't you have good taste? You might want to call Nickelodeon and tell them to bring that one back too. Thank you.
Yeah, really.
All right, that's all the
you
time.
guys.
That's all the time we have. So make sure to visit them down in the voice section.
Thank you.